welcome to day 8 of my advent calendar for Myra's Crafting Playground. So today I have for you a nice little card. I think it's sort of a little bit bright and cheerful. Again, not a difficult design, but well, there's a couple of things different in here. There's some two-step stamping that I haven't done yet. And I'm just trying to get the glare off. There we go. Wishing you peace, joy, and light. So it's simple, but it's nice, it's bright, and I had fun making it. So there's a couple things here that we can talk about as we go. So please stay with me and enjoy day 6. Pardon me, day 8. Oh my God. Okay, so first of all, here's my ugly Christmas sweater. I have another one like this in red. I don't know why. I happen to own a pug. And of course this year, with Vito winning Best in Show in the world, well, I tell you, us pug owners, we're just walking on top of the world. So there we go. Anyway, all right, let's get organized and come down to my messy desk, my classic messy desk. All right. Let's get down here. Sorry. Okay, so you can see I have a few things cut already, but that's okay because we're going to talk about what we used here, just like we always do. So we have, I say we're going to talk about things, and I forgot to bring over the DSP that I used. Oh dear. Here we go. All right, so first of all, I used gray granite. That's the color that's here. Of course, basic white cardstock. And this piece of DSP is from the Nests of Winter designer paper series. And it's just sort of a birch grain that, well, you know, it's from Nests, so it'd be in the trees, right? Anyway, so that's why it sort of felt like we should have some woodsy theme here. So that's the direction I went. So put that off to the side. Trying to rest it there. I really should just get a card stand. It would make life easier, but alas. Okay, so let's start and see what we do. So first we'll start with our card base, which of course is 5.5 by 8.5. I have like 3 bone folders. You think I can find one. Then, just to get this simple stuff out of the way, let's put our tape on the back of the DSP and connect these pieces down. It was funny, earlier I was looking for the tape and I had just used it. And I looked everywhere on my desk, and then I started to go where my cutting machine is, and then my die cutting machine, and I'm looking everywhere. And do you think I could find it? No. It was stuck to my belly. The sides of this are quite tacky, and I guess I had leaned over when I was placing my card pieces together, and it caught my sweater and it just stuck there. And of course I'm looking everywhere except on my belly, because that wouldn't be the first place I would check out. But there you go, the joys of crafting. I think sometimes I spend more time looking for things than actually crafting. All right, I'm standing up just so I can get that bird's eye view and making sure that it goes down straight. And I'm satisfied with that, so we'll keep going. And I'm going to, and again, I use the tear tape because that's my preference. I think I've mentioned before, I've had experience where over the years cards may start to fall apart. I've had excellent experiences with the tape, and so that's my go-to. there are some things that I do use glue on for sure, and glue dots. You know, it's not that I never use the other, but for some of these big pieces you'll always see me with the tear tape, just because I know it's going to last. Alright, so back up on my bird's eye view. And there we go, there's the basic card. So next, I'm going to work with my circle. So this circle is a 3-inch circle, and I've got all my tools here on the side, so I'm just going to bring this into view and then put it away. This is the deckled circle dies, so they're just not perfect circles. They're a little bit I want to say jiggity-jaggedy around the edges, but they're just not a straight circle. So they could be very woodsy. There's lots of selection of sizes, as you can see. So I took the 3-inch size and made myself a circle, and as you can see, the circle is not perfectly round, but good for our purposes. I think perfectly round might even sort of spoil the decor. So the other set that I used Encircled in Nature. Let me put the dies down. I used Encircled in Nature, which comes with these dies here. It comes with these 2 circle dies that I used together, and they have tabs here that when you can, because you know you're always trying to, like, where do I put it so it matches up, so it looks right. And so here there's the tabs, and that gives me an idea where to align them so I can get my twig looking circle. So let me pull that out for you here. Again, piece of paper or something. So it just sort of looks a little like twigs connected as opposed to a perfect circle. So we have our circle that was created by using both of these. Now if you needed to for some other purpose, you have a stamp there. There is the circle stamp of the twigs, and then you could cut them out as well. So that's where that came from. And then it has this beautiful, it's like a wreath, but it's with these little flowers on it. So I used Granny Apple Green, and I cut myself out one of those wreaths as well. And then the other die that I used is for the acorn. So I'm just going to put the die away, but I'll show you what I did with the acorn. I still have the stamps out here. Oh, there goes my little light. Well, that's just handy. All right. Okay, then the other set that I used the Wishing You Peace, Joy, and Light from here. And this set, oh no, this is the set that had the acorns, my bad. Sorry, I apologize. This is the one that had the acorns. And so I used the verse and the acorns out of this set. Oh dear. All right. So I have my acorns and my verse still on some blocks on the side here. I'm very disappointed that that light just went out. Charged it earlier. Okay, so first I am going to just glue, and like I said, sometimes you just gotta glue things. So we're going to add some glue onto the twig wreath and put that on our 3-inch circle. Did I mention the size of the other papers? So your base always is 5 1/4, well, not always, but 5 1/4 by 8 1/2, and then scored at 4 1/4 to give you a front of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then the first piece of granite gray, that one is cut at 5 1/4 by 4, and then the DSP is cut at 5 3 3/4. Okay, so then I just glued the twigs on top there. Now what I did on my sample, I can bring that back into view, I used my alcohol, my blends, the alcohol ink marker. I used my dark poppy to color on the green to give the flowers some distinction from the actual wreath. And of course, red plus green equals brown, right? So I ended up with a brown, but it matches this pecan pie brown that I used on the twigs so perfectly, I couldn't have planned that better. So let's just have a little bit of a go round here. Now, I'm not going to color directly on my glass table because the beauty of alcohol ink marker is that you can use it on non-porous surfaces, so it would actually stain my glass top. So I'm just going to pick a piece of scrap here and not pressing too hard. I'm just going to follow the flowers and make them, well, I'm coloring them red, but of course that makes them brown. So let's see how fast we can go here. I should have colored half of them so that you don't have to watch me color, but I didn't think of that. I'm trying not to make these videos too long. Like I said, my patience usually wears out after about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We're already at 12. So I'm just putting this on quickly, just trying to circle the bottom so it looks like it finishes and stops, you know what I mean? And get them colored up because we are going to add some glitter on top of them. Because just when you don't know what to do with a card, you add some glitter and it's bound to brighten it up. That's my dressing style too. It has to have glitter and shine. The older we get, sometimes you think we fade, so let's just jazz it up with glitter. Whether it's a scarf or some earrings, necklace, that's where you'll see my glitter. Alright, here we go, almost there. Okay, I'm not doing this as professionally as I would prefer. I am speeding this along, so you'll notice some imperfections along the way, but it's handmade, it's not Hallmark, right? Isn't that what we say? Alright, so there we go. I have my wreath done. A couple of boops here and there, but that's alright. I don't mind, do you? Alright, let's get that marker out of the way. So that was one of the alcohol ink blends. And so this will go on top of my circle. I'm going to add my glitter last just because of the video. Again, I want, I will leave the glitter to dry after. I am going to use Stickles as opposed to just glue and loose glitter, so that's why it has to set and dry after. Alright, so I have some glue on the back. I'm going to throw that right on top somehow. There we go. So now we've got our 3 pieces put together. I'm going to pop this up on my card. Wipe off any glue pieces that are there. I'm going to add some dimensionals. You know, sometimes when you have like glitter papers and things that don't stick very well with other traditional adhesives, try using the dimensionals, and these things stick like no tomorrow. I don't know what they're made of, but they work. And I love Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. They, first of all, you get quite a few in a pack, and they're nice and reasonably thin, so you don't have something that's popping where you can see everything behind it, that sort of thing. And I'm a little off center here. Grab our picking tool, which by the way has glitter, because you know, I just told you about the glitter. Alright, so I'm trying to get some of these dimensionals to let go. Let go. And let's try that again. Alright, so there we go. So essentially at this point, a little bit of glitter, my 2 acorns here, and a ribbon and some embellishments, and we're done. But, oh, and stamping in the middle. Why don't we do that? I want to show you the acorns because the acorns are 2-step stamping. So I used the gray granite, and of course I should have stamped this before. Oh my goodness, shame on me. I should have stamped this before, because now I've got dimensionals going on under there, and so I won't have a nice flat surface. So okay, let's test the talent here. I should maybe use a platform to stamp this, because I might have to go down more than once, but I'm going for it here. What's the worst that can happen? It's only paper, right? Alright, so let's hope that I don't get any overspray or over stamping. Ah, and it didn't go through. Son of a gun. Alright. Better, but not perfect. That will require fixing. So, what's the lesson today? If you need to stamp, make sure you've got your stamping done before you put it on the card. What's really nice about these clear stamps is that because you can see through them, your placement is pretty much bang on when you go in for the 2nd or 3rd stamp. So I'm actually satisfied with that. It came through on 3, but there was a lesson in there. So hope everybody picked up on that. Oops. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, so these acorns, they're so cute, but they're actually stamped. There we go. They're stamped twice. Okay, so let me just grab a piece of white scrap. You don't need a big piece to do this. So what I've done is, with the gray granite, there are two stamps here. This one is pretty much the whole image. So we're going to ink that baby up, and we're going to stamp it. And you're going to need two. So let's go with two. All right. Nice. Doable. I don't know. Looks okay. But let's see what happens when we add in the pecan pie. So the other stamp is the ridges. So at the top here, there's this sort of rounder stamp if you're using this set. Of course, if you have some other set, can't help you. So this I'm going to align with the stamp that or the image that I already stamped, and there you go, your two-step stamping. Isn't that great? So again, because there's clear stamps, you can see through to align your image and get it on properly. So there is my acorns. I have done two, so I don't have to run away and cut them out, but that's how I got them. So a couple more to cut out now because I've got a couple more done. So I'm just going to pop a dimensional on the back of these, and I'm actually putting it towards the bottom because it's going to sit up on the wreath, and the wreath is already popped, so this way it sort of meets the top. And I'm just going to put one here and pop another there, and grab some ribbon. I actually had done this ribbon first and ran out of it, which is why my card that I presented to you, the ribbon's a little bit different. And I'm sure what you have in your stash will work for you as well. Oopsie. Try putting the glue dot on the right side. Alright. I hate these glue dots. Stampin' Up! Also has glue dots, but I'm trying to get rid of this package that I have. And I'm just going to sort of nestle that in with my acorns. So they're there. On this one, I actually used another piece of gold cord, so I have two bows there. So that's up to you the way you like it. So I'm going to stick with the one on this one just because of the type of ribbon that I used. And then I have some embellishments here. These are 2021-2023 jewel tone colors. The jewel 21 to 2023 in color jewels embellishments. And I'm just going to add some of these light green ones. I'm going to stuff one right on my ribbon so it catches a bit more light. And then I'm just going to put a couple more, always sort of triangular. I'm not going to count that one. I know I always say 3, but I'm not going to count that one, so I'm just going to throw some over here. Now, the other thing that I still have left to do is my stickles. So this is stickles. You might have, or you can use just craft glue and just regular glitter. Probably would go a lot faster, except in that case I might even do it before I glue it on the page, because once you've glued this down, you're going to get glitter everywhere. So I would wait. I would do it first. So I'm just rubbing some. It comes out like a glue. It's a mixture of glitter and glue. and I'm just going to dab it on all of my flowers around the ring of the wreath, and it's just going to add some splash of color and light. So there are some great sets available. Our catalog, some of them are now in the last chance product list under specials on the web page. Please look me up, Myra Webb, to purchase from my store. The new catalog will be starting January 2nd, I believe. And there's a whole bunch of wonderful new products coming. I think I promised that at the end of this Advent, or towards the end, I would show you some projects with the new product. So there you go. So I've just added stickles. Like I said, you could certainly do glitter and glue, but I would do that before sticking it on your page. And there you have it. So let me just say, I'm wishing you peace, joy, and light. So have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.